Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Swole and what you should consider focusing on if you plan to get far in the competition. As you can see, each tune that you could research correlates to only one skill. So you're going to want to try to pick like your top 5 tunes to research, the ones you're going to take up to say level 10 if your tunes are even at level 10 yet. And the reason why is because every extra tune you have to research is an extra time frame that you have to wait to get that research up. Now I understand sometimes you have to have more, but the less you have, the less you have to worry about, the easier, the more narrow focused you're going to be. It's just going to be far around better for your deck. So for starters, you're going to want only one TV show. If you have to do 2, that's fine. But I did 2 last time on my music deck, and I found I really didn't have time to research the health on both of them. I mean, there was just too much to research. I didn't have time, so at the end, my primary focus ended up doing great, but whenever my secondary focus came out, which was American Dad, I had Stan and a couple other cards that had the skills along with my primary focus, but it really didn't turn out that well for those tunes. So you're going to want to focus on one, whether it be American Dad, Futurama, Bob's Burgers, King of the Hill. You want to focus on just one TV show. Okay? Now, you're going to also want to have multiple of the same tunes. Now, there's a reason why you want multiple of the same tunes, and you don't want to have a Mod Podge of every single tune in your TV show. One, we all know that Kong has not been fair when it comes to who can do what. Some cards are going to have far more combos. Some cards are going to be far stronger. And some cards just won't have anything for certain BGEs at all. And that's another thing. You're going to want to focus on one BGE. There is a reason why I'm telling you, try to have as many of the same tunes. Try to focus on one BGE. Okay? And I'll tell you why. We're going to go ahead and look at my American Dad deck that I'm considering. Now, I have Stan, I have Bulwark, I also have Steve. I could have them in here, but their combos, their abilities are completely different than these guys, these guys' abilities. Look. Let's say I focused on this deck. So I would focus on Steve Smith because Steve is going to get me the health. And once Steve gets to level 5, my attack's going to start going up. I'm going to be able to focus on gas for both of them. So I'll have Roger, since he's the gas. I would focus on Roger, which will boost the gas for both of them. And then I would focus on Bob, because he's going to leech both of them. Now, Ricky Spanish would be my primary, so I would also focus heavier on Payback than I would on Hijack, simply because Ricky Spanish is my primary for this deck. Now, because this deck is so narrow focused, I actually only have 5 tunes I have to research. I have to research Roger for gas, Fry for payback, Bob for leech, Brian for hijack, and Steve for health. Now, because this narrow focus is so good, I would also put Ricky up there and level him up to 3 to get my attack going. But I'm going to get a level 3 Ricky for attack, a level 5 Steve for attack, and once I get Roger's gas up to level 9, I'm going to get another attack. That's 3 attacks, and I only had to focus on 6 tunes. Now let's go ahead and go back to my music deck so you can see the difference. Now over there, I only had 2 things to research, and because Roger and Klaus are so close in skill, I didn't even have to worry. Over here, Fry would be my primary. Now I ran a music deck last time. The music deck did amazing. I would consider doing music again, but I just really don't like having to do so much research. If I stuck with this one, I literally have to research 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I literally, just to start, have to focus on 6 tunes. And not one of those tunes is actually going to help my attack. So if I want to boost my attack up at all, I have to add more tunes. So now I'm going from 6 to 8. And I'm only getting two boost attacks out of that. And that's because I don't have time to research Fry. I don't have time to research Zoidberg. Their lowest attack boost is at 1 at 7 and 1 at 9. There's just not enough time. So now I only have 2 attack compared to my last deck where I'm getting 3. Without even trying, I'm getting 2. I mean, it's just far more powerful to have less in this. So let's say I focused on this deck. This wouldn't be a bad deck. I would focus on Fry as my primary. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on Sturdy with Ricky. I'm going to focus on Crazed with Gene. Right off the bat, I have to focus on 3 because I also need Leela for the health. So that's already 3. So now we're going to throw on 2 more because Bender is my secondary. He's going to boost up all my music cards with the microphone, which is a great way to go. So I'm going to have to obviously cheer my cards with Stan. So that's now a 4th item I have to research. I'm also going to want that punch because I need him to be able to hold his own. So now we're already up to a 5th item, which is fine. It's what it is. So now my next goal would be obviously Leela. I'm going to want her Leech to get boosted. Now, if I get Leela out on my first try, Leela would be the first card I would lead with. She's going to boost the second card up immediately as long as I lay out a tune, which I should more than likely be able to do. Altogether, those 3 are perfect. Now, I threw in Robot Fry in for a particular reason. And I do suggest you focus on the BGE, but the reason you should focus on the BGE is because of cards like this, the Rodriguez one. As you can see, his microphone only boosts tunes on the music BGE. And you're going to see that universally, that's what's going to happen. Some tunes are only going to be able to help other cards of its BGE, and it's just not going to be smart to have a drunk card that's trying to heal you when you don't have any other drunk cards. You need to focus on one BGE. It's how to do it. Now, the reason I have Robot Fry, and Robot Fry, his primary focus would be on the Washboard Bender, which would boost him a little, or Leela. But the reason I threw Robot Fry in here is because of his skills. I'm already researching Sturdy, already researching Leech, and I'm already researching Craze. It's kind of just a smart thing. The problem with this deck, though, is I have to research 8 tunes just to get out the front door, and that's kind of ridiculous. It just is. Now, I do have another deck I could show you. I have my drunk deck. And here, I focused on just Bender and just Fry. Now, though I do have more fries, I consider Bender to be my primary because Bender is going to have the three things I'm researching. I'm going to research the burgers, I'm going to research Punch, and I'm going to research Leech. So because those are my primaries, that's already 4 items I'm researching. But luckily, the other one I'm considering is actually just Millennial Fry. So that actually leaves me with only 4 items to worry about researching. This deck is actually my best bet for lowest research. I would obviously add on Bender and Zap to 5 and to get my level 5 and level 3 for attack. So this is why I keep suggesting one focus for TV show, multiple of the same tunes, and one BGE. Because if you do that, you're not going to have to worry about researching so many different tunes. You're going to be able to focus exactly on what you want. Here, you want Dance Dance. You want Super Dance across the board, and then Rodriguez across the board. Here, you want Ricky Spanish across the board, and you want Cartel Klaus across the board. You don't want to have other combos to worry about for each tune. You don't want the headache. So, let's say I was going to focus on my music. If I were to focus on this music deck, I would probably use Zap as a hero because he's going to gain the punch and he's going to gain... Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. So, if I were to do this one, I would focus on Fry as my primary. Fry's going to have the punch and he's going to have the cheer. So that would be the tune I would focus on here. And the reason I have these 3 power cards is simply because they gain the most benefit from what I'm already researching. Dance of Peace has Wall. Obviously, the middle one I'm already researching both, so that's a easy one. And Joe Swerve has Punch and Leech. All things I'm already researching. Now, if I were to do this deck, my primary would be Roger, and his only ability he would gain from this would be Payback. Now, unfortunately, that's the problem with running the American Dad. There's just no good tunes, but I have to use an American Dad tune because I'm going to need the health. Last time they had your hero gain health. I'm going to need the health. Now my power cards are right on the money. So the deck alone, the singular focus is super strong on this deck. I mean, it hands down. So it's really a toss-up between having a bad hero or having a great hero for this one, but not the best combo ability, even though I have less to work with. Now, if I were to do this one, I would do Zap for punch and for heal. And as you can see, my power cards all focus on what I'm already focusing on. I'm focusing on Leech, I'm focusing on Punch, I'm focusing on the burger. It just made sense. So, to wrap things up, you're going to want one TV show, multiple copies of one tune if you can. More than likely you'll have 2 to 3. But remember, you want to have as few combo possibilities as possible because you want to have a primary focus, possibly a second focus, and you want to have supporting cards to boost your deck up if you can. So that seems to be all the stuff I have to pass on. Thanks for watching.